and welcome to another episode of the Hanukkah Erotica Book Club podcast. I'm Raizel, and I'm joined by my co-host and stepsister, Malya. Hi, Mal.
Hi.
What's cooking?
Well, let's see. Great feedback on the last episode.
Oh my God. Really great.
I was thinking because I texted you today, actually, that I guess I just saw that they announced the date for the Bang It Out to the Of party.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a standing invitation to do a guest episode at the party. It hasn't worked out thus far, but I was just thinking that, really, Dahlia Adler needs to, everyone at that party needs to read this book. They are the target audience. Do you know what I mean?
They are. I couldn't agree more.
I just feel like they each need to know about it, and I feel like her publicist needs to have a stand. I don't know, needs to talk to the Galinas, something. I don't know.
I'll DM her.
I'm
Make sure
serious.
she knows about this treasure trove of a community. She knows,
I feel like
that party's perfect.
Just feel like that party could have been in the book. You know what I mean? They're all extras in her world.
100%. I couldn't agree more.
So, because William was like, you guys should get a book sponsor. And I'm like, she's literally our last episode was the perfect book sponsor. So
the Shabbos after, I don't know, shortly after we recorded it or shortly after we read it, I was at my in-laws, and my brother-in-law, who's 25 or 26 and, a character out of the book, was sitting in the kitchen with three of his single guy friends.
Right.
And I was like, guys, I have a book for you.
Oh, good.
You have to read it.
Yeah.
A must read. But it's you have to it's really a leap of faith, and everyone just has to take our word for it. Because if you're not a romance reader, I understand.
Totally. That's why I made the analogy last time to musical theater, because I know what it is to be that skeptic of no, it's not going to be anything different. I'm not into that genre. So I understand. I get it. But
I would also love just almost anyone, even people who aren't from the Upper West Side or modern Orthodox adjacent, to read it, because I'm just actually curious about what they think. A non-Jewish romance reader, or, because that's how good I thought it was.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
so I would just be curious to know other people's takes on it.
Right.
But people loved the episode.
Yeah. No, it was very fun.
And Dahlia listened.
I know. I love when that happens.
Yeah. She was nervous. She was excited that we loved it.
That's really sweet. She's been getting a lot of good press about the book. People have been forwarding me other articles and stuff that she's had.
And Rick Bodice event.
Yes.
It was so good.
Also, earlier today, big Hanukkah Erotica Book Club news. Carlos from hello@podstatus.com.
Carlos, not an AI bot.
No, definitely not an AI bot. Of course not. That we are in position 1 in the category Judaism in Egypt in Apple Podcast rankings.
Keep going with the stats.
Position 4 in the category Judaism in Malawi. Position 16 in the category Judaism United Kingdom.
Okay, honestly, very impressive.
That's impressive. United Kingdom. I mean,
come on.
Malawi, I'm curious to know what 1 through 3 are, to be honest with you.
Me too. Who's listening in Egypt?
Right.
Who's listening in Egypt?
That could be literally a person. We're position 1.
Who's listening? I'd love to know.
If you're an Egypt-based fan and listening right now, please contact us.
Please. Or it's my brother-in-law, who I just mentioned, was stuck there, when he went, and then all of a sudden the war with Iran, he was stuck there at a certain point, and they were trying to get boatloads of young Jews out. Did you see the Birthright cruise footage?
No.
Oh my God, that's an amazing scene in a book.
What is it?
There was they were trying to get all these people out of Israel back to America. And
right,
there was
I remember this.
A cruise, a boat they were taking through towards Greece or Egypt or something. But the footage of it just looked like a party, just crazy really dancing funny on the boardwalk on the top deck. Anyway,
Can you imagine if a couple? There must be couples from that.
Oh,
I mean, how
100%.
could
But
there
what I
not
was
be?
saying was, what if it's just like a Jew trying to get out of Israel and listening in Egypt because like they got a flight?
They were just like desperate for
They're just like,
something.
like going through the airport
Yeah, yeah.
and it's just like a regular fan,
Right.
but it
It's like
registers as
one of our
Egypt.
friends, basically. Yeah. That would be really
Malawi, though, I
funny.
don't know. UK is amazing.
Yeah, 176 in the United States. That's not bad, actually.
Okay, I have aspirations to bump it higher, but that's pretty good.
Agreed. Position 223 in the category Judaism in the Netherlands. I honestly didn't know there were 222 others.
There's many.
Right, I guess so. Anyway, this data is provided by podstatus.com. Happy podcasting.
You know what? Thank you, Pod Status.
Pod status.
I really appreciate this. We appreciate it. This kind of research. Honestly, it gave me a pep in my step.
Yeah, it was a little shot in the arm for sure.
I'm coming down off of a reunion high. I had my 20th college reunion.
I saw.
Oh, it was so much fun. So I'm having a little bit of a crash, and seeing that we're #1 in Egypt really perked me up.
Yeah, you got to have something in daily life to remind you how great the present is after a nostalgic weekend.
100%. The reunion also includes a WhatsApp chat of like hundreds of my peers of the class of 2006 at Skidmore. And before the reunion, I said, I'm not going to do this, but I feel like we should record the whole thing on audio and like have a podcast about the reunion, but then also like interviews with people like about different like college experiences, stories, but then like get different people's takes on the same night. Like,
Yeah.
I think it has legs for a really good podcast.
Totally.
But also I'm like, I'm not going to spend the weekend walking around with one of those weird tiny mics.
Right. Like
So,
that
like, this is
person.
a
You have
good
to be that
idea.
person. Yeah.
This is a good idea, but like I just want to enjoy the reunion and not interview everyone with a weird mic. But I do
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
it has legs, but it's not going to happen. I mean, if it is, it's not that I've given someone an idea. There's no way. It's too
If you had
precious
the
of time.
to like, there could be a follow-up, like something where at the reunion, there needs to be a hook. Like, I don't know what happened at the reunion, but was there like somebody whose life took a very unexpected trajectory or a mystery that was revealed or someone who wasn't there?
You think
Like,
it
there
needs to
has
be a true crime podcast.
not true crime,
But I think
but
it's
like
just nostalgia, storytelling.
just nostalgia.
Because I think it's just nostalgia, storytelling, and like different people's experiences and takes on like the same, day or night or whatever. But
It's
I
not a
don't know.
where are they now. It's like purely about the past.
It could be a where are they now also. But I don't know. I think that Reunion, the podcast, has legs. Also,
Totally.
I have a full-time job and this podcast, so it's not going to be
right.
my project necessarily. But I did mention the idea. And then this one guy, actually also named Carlos, maybe he's
Right.
maybe he's in this space. No, he isn't. He was like, wait, so are you doing the podcast? Like he came up to me like at the bar.
wow.
It's like, no, I'm not. It's a good idea, but
He got invested.
it won't be me. I think it would be really great. He's like,
There's
I'd be
college
interviewing
reunions every weekend. I mean, that could be a series that has a lot of potential.
so much.
Yeah.
So it was a
And
blast.
reunions have so much, like, reunions are fun on so many levels.
They are. I recently also had a mini high school reunion with a few friends
Oh.
from high school, and that was also really fun. And then a week later, I went to my mom's for lunch, our parents for lunch, I mean. And my mom's friend from high school was there. And I always love when I see them, her friend from high school. Now they're turning 8. He probably already turned 80. She'll be 80 in November. So they went to high school 62 years ago. They graduated high school 63 years ago. And the memories and the nostalgia and the laughs they were having. I mean, it makes me so happy because that's my favorite kind of shtick. At
So
one point, they
sweet.
started to talk about, apparently they also went to the same middle school before they transferred to but they didn't know it. They were in the same Hebrew school class, all this stuff. And so all of a sudden they were like, remember that teacher? And they all knew that teacher. They started telling stories like, and then that person killed her. What?
Oh my God. What?
True crime.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, I'm sorry, you lost me.
Also an unexpected turn there.
An unexpected turn.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it was funny watching them have their nostalgic reunion thing.
You know, my dad has like a big reunion thing also where he
Oh, was
was
his
in
fourth
this
grade
like
class or something?
yes, he was in like this class where they did fourth, fifth, and sixth grade in 2 years. It was like some accelerated program.
Yes,
So the
yes.
same group of kids were together for 2 years. And it was like very formative. And he also, I mean, you know, they also just had a reunion within the last like 10 years, I want to say. And they have a Facebook group and they also the memories. They did a production of Oklahoma. They like
Obsessed. I'm
quote
sorry, but I
Oklahoma
love this.
lyrics.
This is what
Yeah,
I live
yeah, yeah.
for.
It's really good.
I really love it. Also,
So
I think
sweet.
because I have such a good memory, I appreciate being around other people that also do, or being around people that have no idea what I'm talking about, but appreciate that I'm remembering everything.
Oh,
My
that's
mom
not
and her
annoying
friend,
to
though,
you?
had both had like crystal clear memories. What'd you say?
Right. It's not annoying to you when someone's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. When someone has like, when you have like a very clear memory, like from a Skidmore weekend, let's say, and someone else is like, what? I don't remember that.
I think it makes me just feel bad and not about myself, about their memory, and excited that mine are so vivid.
I say, okay,
Yeah.
it's a good attitude.
Yeah. I did less drugs than some people.
Right. That's also something to factor in.
Yeah.
Cool. That's really fun. Well,
Really
the pictures
fun.
looked. I mean, no, the whole weekend is fun. The not doing drugs also, fun idea for your future.
I did some then, but haven't in a
know.
long, long time, and it's preserved the noggin.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm excited to talk about tonight's book, unless there's other things we want to catch up on.
Well, I have two more quick things. I guess number one is just that is Kirkland the Costco brand?
It sure is.
Because I just tried a Kirkland seltzer for the first time.
What flavor?
Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. Thought it was
Yeah.
really good. I don't thought because it was Costco, maybe it would be a little more chemically or it would taste a little whatever, but I thought it was refreshing and good.
It is delicious. Costco stuff is good in general. Also, huge kosher section. We just became members recently.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yes.
wow. Yeah, I was getting a pedicure at, my like not so fancy pedicure place, and they were like, do you want a seltzer? And I was like, of
Ooh.
course. And it was a Costco brand seltzer, which was fabulous.
At my Skidmore reunion, in addition to the bar at this one evening, that's like a huge party in the tent, like live bands, like over 1,000 people. There was a bar, and then next to the bar was just like a giant cooler with like every flavor of bubbly seltzer.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that really enhanced the night for me,
That's amazing.
isn't it?
Yeah,
I love
very
bubbly.
luxurious.
Very luxurious.
Yeah, it's so nice. You could just saunter over, take whatever flavor.
Ah.
It's just right. Really, the night is very exciting.
Very
Okay.
exciting. I had cherry. Okay, so yeah, Kirkland is that Costco brand.
I liked it. I took a
Kirkwood is
picture.
Aldi brand.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Isn't that weird?
That's confusing.
I know.
Yeah, I took a photo. I have it. I'm just looking at my photo library. I have just a photo of this Kirkland seltzer because I was like, I need to remember this. Took a photo.
Kirkland
sparkling
lemon.
water.
Okay, I'm gonna try it.
It was good. And the last thing I have on my list of things to talk about is just I can't really go anywhere with this because I know this is like supposed to be a brief segment, but we talked about having a brief segment we've had a brief segment in the past about other books we're reading, non-Jewish romance related, and I just want to say that I just finished Yesteryear, which
Oh, wait, what'd
we
you
talked
think?
about. I thought it was, I was riveted. I
was
was listening to it on audiobook when I listen to a lot of things on audio because I have a long commute when I drive, and I was like 45 minutes from the end when I pulled up to our apartment, and I wasn't going to be driving again alone for like another week. And I was just like, what do I do right now? Like, I can't wait a week to hear the last 45 minutes.
Is there
of this
still
book.
a Key Food around the corner? It's like gotta go.
I know. I was
Steve's
like,
or something.
should I just
Or
circle the
Seatown?
block?
Steve's Seatown. Is that still there? It's like a weird
Steve
supermarket.
Seatown is
Steve Seatown?
No, I think it closed and became like a different grocery.
Okay,
Like
but it was Steve
I don't-
Seatown, right?
It was totally Steve Seatown.
Yeah,
I
see,
know
good
exactly what
memory.
you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you do?
I came inside and I listened to it just like on my phone with my headphones, like in our apartment at night, like, instead of watching a show or whatever.
Right.
Which is like weird. It changes the like I'm not usually like on my headphones, just like in our apartment at night.
Yes.
William was like, "What are
I
you
am
doing?"
if I'm doing stuff like around the apartment. I mean house. Then it's like I like to have something in my ear because then
Yeah.
then I rebrand the stuff I'm doing around the house as me time.
Yeah, totally. No, that makes sense. No, it was very nice, but I like had to finish it.
Yeah,
and I'm not usually.
Do you understand now that when it ended, I immediately had to restart it? I mean, I know you know that I do that a lot, but
Right. No, of course, because you want to kind of reflect back and see if what
if
was
that
going to happen was
right,
if you could have predicted it
I
or
was
how it
shocked.
was.
Am I a dum dum? I mean, I was shocked.
No. You're not. Of course, you're not a dum dum. It was shocking.
It was shocking.
And then I was looking at other people's reviews. I guess I really enjoyed it because I was like, I want to know other, like, the reviews were very split between like, I loved it. It was so, I would never saw the ending coming and everything clicked into place for me, to like, I hated this book. The ending, all the details made no sense. The reveal made no sense. None of it, whatever. So it was very divisive.
I know, it really was. Some people really didn't like the book that I even recommended and thought would like it.
I really enjoyed it. I would love to have I feel like it would be a great book club book. There's a lot to discuss.
I think this is okay to say on this podcast right now in this very moment. And if it's not, I'm sorry, listeners, but do you hear a crazy banging? Because,
Crazy banging?
yeah. Do you hear anything?
No, I don't hear anything.
Okay, I hope it's not picking up on my very good Yeti mic, but something crazy is happening right now.
In your
and
house?
I hope it's not messing up the audio.
I don't hear a thing.
Yeah, we got a new treadmill. Life-changing, super excited about it because I use the Peloton app, which I'm like basically evangelical about. I love the workout classes on the Peloton app.
Okay.
But there's all these Peloton tread classes that you don't really have access to unless you use a treadmill. I mean, you have access, but like on what? But I can't use it. We got a treadmill, so now I have all these. There's a whole world of classes I could take anyway, Mitch was just running on it and it was banging.
Oh, I see. I know that. I know what that sounds like.
And I'm wondering if you could hear it on the mic, but also I think he was just doing like a quick mile because it just stopped. So anyway.
Oh, no, can't hear a thing.
Okay.
I will say that I just got an email that the yoga place that I go to tomorrow in honor of the Knicks being in the championships is giving out free like drinks if you wear Knicks gear.
Oh.
And I don't have any Knicks gear, but my 10-year-old son does. So I just asked him if I could borrow his t-shirt.
Wait, that is really weird timing. We should probably take a picture and send it to each other because tomorrow's Jersey Day at my school and I'm wearing Binny's Knicks jersey. I also need her. We're both wearing our fourth and fifth graders Knicks gear tomorrow.
So funny.
How weird. Yeah, I'm wearing her jersey tomorrow to work.
Yeah, I was like, can I please borrow this so I can get a free drink? Because those drinks are like $8.
Oh, please, come on.
Drinks. And he was like, don't stretch it out. And I was like, okay.
I'll wash and shrink it after. Don't worry, buddy.
It's not, come on.
I guess the one last thing I'll say is that a romance book that I read, a romance series I read over a decade ago.
Okay.
The Deal was the first book by Elle Kennedy.
Okay.
Became a sensation, overnight sensation on Prime called Off Campus. Have you heard?
Oh my God. I've heard people talking about it, but I didn't know what it was.
So it's an amazing new adult rom-com romance. I don't really know if it's a rom-com or just a romance.
It's on
this
Prime?
author Elle Kennedy. It's on Prime.
Oh, I have Prime.
It is really good, but it's based on a series that I devoured. A new adult series, like pretty steamy. Maybe 12 or 13 years ago that I really liked. The Deal was the first one about a fake relationship. And then there was The Score. There's a million books. And then there's all these spin-offs, the Briar Hughes series. It's the gift that keeps on giving. There's like 20 books in the series.
And it's about college. It takes place in college?
It takes place in college. Hockey romance.
Oh,
Heterosexual hockey romance.
Oh, because we just had the gay hockey romance.
Exactly. Exactly. Heated rivalry. This is straight.
Thank you. Interesting.
Off campus.
Still in the hockey world.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, I have Prime. I should check it out.
You should. I'm sure our listeners have already watched, but check it out.
I feel like it's for our demographic. I feel like all the like 40-ish
all these
women
romances are. It's for our demographic of like 40-year-old married horny women. I don't understand. Young people are not watching these things.
No, they're living life.
The Summer I Turned Pretty, Heated Rivalry.
Right.
This is not new for me though. That's the thing. Like this series is a series I love.
Right, you were into it a decade ago, right? Oh, that's cool.
Exactly. But
it's so fun when that happens. You feel like you're so like on the pulse.
I know. I sure am.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are all the things. We have a special episode tonight.
We do. So we read The Story of E by Nora Kogan, and Nora is a friend of mine from Shul, and I kind of got sort of an insider's view into her process of sort of deciding to write and then actually writing this, her first romance novella. And it's available now on Amazon, and we read it for this episode, and she's here to tell us all about it.
Yay!
So, welcome, Nora.
Hi. Oh, hi.
Hi!
Welcome.
Oh my God, so exciting.
We're so glad you're here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So I know that you have already talked a little bit to Mal, but because I'd love to hear. I mean, I'm really curious about everything. But one thing I'm curious about, I loved it, but okay, so at the start, it's like this is true and like these texts are real, but like I didn't know if that was like a literary tool or if it really is. I don't know if you're comfortable sharing that.
It is, yeah. The texts are real.
The texts are real.
Yeah.
The story's real.
The story's real. It's metafiction. It turned out to be metafiction. It wasn't like what I was going to write. In fact, I don't even know what I was going to write. To be honest with you, it just unfolded and wrote itself. I keep saying that it wrote itself because I literally just told the story of what happened. And I want to say, like, it even started because, I knew that Malya had the podcast and I was listening to it. And then it occurred to me that, I am in the middle of something like so fun and weird. And I was trying to figure out how I could tell her the story. And then I thought, well, maybe I even like said something to her at shul once that, there's da-da-da and da-da-da. And she's like, oh, it sounds intriguing. Tell me more. And I was like, oh, how can I tell you more? And it started with the robbery, with burglary. Technically it's a burglary because nobody was there. And when and because, the burglary was really, really quite, like a really cataclysmic event in my life, whenever people would say, oh my God, what happened? I would always preface it with saying, well, there was a knock on my door at 4:30 a.m. And so for months, I was just like, I was thinking such a good line because I come up with like good one-liners, but I never do anything with them. I just like, oh, that sounds good. I should like remember it. I like, I sometimes write copy for my website for the products, and it's always very immediate. I never think twice about it. Just like write it. It comes to me. So I was thinking it's such a good line. I should try and remember it. And then, so then when I thought about telling, Malya the story, it went from there. And I basically was writing it as a diary. I was just unfolding and remembering the events. And honestly, I didn't start writing when I actually, there was an arc to it. The arc was natural. And it sort of unfolded, and it wasn't like, oh, what should I say? I wasn't like making up a story. It was like, oh, I wanna write a book. I was just sort of unfolding it, unraveling it, putting it down. And then at the end, I realized, wow, there's a story here. There is an arc to this story. And because nothing was ever forced, these things just happen. They just kept happening and happening and happening. And I realized there was also it was very much an honest portrayal of what was going on in my mind, of how like my summer unfolded, how like that whole, the last year unfolded. And also because I was learning so many Maimorim, that at some point they were just coalescing with what I was studying to what I was experiencing was just, synchronizing. And that became, in the end, it coalesced into this. And I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, I do think it's like one of the things that just struck me as kind of crazy and interesting about having kind of gotten a window into your process and this journey is I feel like that happens to everyone where you're like, that's a great line, or this is crazy, I should write a book about it. Like, everyone says that. You know
I
what I
say it
mean?
all
But
the
like
time.
Rachel said, we say it constantly, but we never do it. Like, most people are like, I should write a book. I know it's crazy. I should write a book. But like, no one actually writes a book. Like, but you actually took that feeling and then wrote a book. That's what I kind of
know.
want to know. Like, how did that, what was the moment where, was there something that pushed you over the edge to be like, I'm actually, you know what? This is so good. I'm actually doing it. Did it
And
like,
is it like
yeah,
also when I ask authors about their writing process, they never actually tell me that. Like they start to tell me something else, but like literally, like, are you at a computer? Are you sitting? Is it a certain time every day? Like, how are you like doing it?
Well, I want to say that because my life imploded, because as I say it all in the book, the robbery happened, and then it turned out that my insurance policy, I wasn't covered. Like this,
right.
very expensive policy paid out nothing, and you know, it's so it's almost like when you live it, you don't even address it. It's like, well, I just like wake up and I go walk my dog, and like then I have to like send some emails, and I got to do this or I got to do that. I want to say, like, I do study a lot. I really study. I spend a lot of my time studying Maimorim and Hasidus, and a lot of I spend a lot of time thinking, and I spend a lot of time alone, and it's. I can't. I don't even. I'm not even sure how to say this. I started saying the story from that beginning, and then it just unfolded. Which is why I feel like I've been a designer, a jewelry designer for like almost 25 years now, and I want to say, and I've been extremely prolific. I've created like thousands of pieces, and my designs are very, I sit down, I sketch something, it literally takes seconds. I don't spend a lot of time, pondering a design. I see a stone, it like automatically speaks to me. And so this was very much like that. It's just like it just unfolded. It just like unpacked itself in real time. I mean, I want to say I wasn't writing in real time. I started writing it early this year. I think I really started seriously writing it. Also because I had time. I actually had a lot of time on my
Right.
hands because now I had no store, and I literally had like, no business. And, whereas before I did like, I was much busier with work, and now I was like, well, I don't really have a lot to do. I'm like literally just kind of at a loose end. So I have a lot of time to do this. And it's,
Did it change your perspective on the experience or your relationship?
with whom?
The detective?
Huh. Um, um, it's I want to say that when I said like all the texts are true, all everything that happened everything that happened, and this is how can I say this? Um, it's the view from my side of the river, you know. Um, there does it land like that for him? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Just because this is my perspective and my viewpoint, I'm writing it from my perspective. I'm not putting words in his mouth. I'm not even ascribing feelings to him, or I don't know, like, whether that comes through, that I'm describing what's happening in my mind, and how I'm experiencing this entire thing and how it makes me feel. I never said that, oh, and he thinks this and he says this. It's only like verbatim. This is what he said, and this is how it's landed. And I do, some people have come up to me and asked me, are you in love? Is this like, and I never even thought of it that way. It's just like, this is how it made me feel as I was experiencing it.
Right.
It's like when you said, oh, people often think that there's a book. I actually think everyone has a book in them. I know a few writers, and I do believe everyone has at least one book in them. Some people write the same story over and over again, and you can tell. But I think everyone has like a story. In fact, I'm actually writing more now, more things, and I think it's because I like to talk. I've
So
always
do
thought,
we.
yeah, well,
Oh, yeah.
I know, and I appreciate that. And you're funny.
Thanks.
And I like to talk. I never thought I would write anything, but I guess the opportunity presented itself and I had nothing else to do. And honestly, I really thought in the beginning I was just going to write some erotic short story.
Right.
Well,
That's what
it
you
was,
told me originally, I think.
yeah, that's why I thought I would make up something. Like I actually just thought, oh, how can I, put this into like some kind of erotic content? But then as I started, writing it based on what happened, I thought I don't actually need to make anything up. It's
Right.
it's too interesting as it is, and I don't. And actually, if I wanted to make it up, I couldn't make it up.
The sexiest of all the sexiness in the book for me is about you and your ex, actually. That was the sexiest. The way you described that dynamic was very sexy. Not that, of course, I believe the relationship with the detective was also, but in terms of like the actual like description, that was very erotic, I would say. More so almost than the flirtation. I don't
Well,
know.
that was because I was describing something. I mean, look, these are all real people, and this is why, I do want to say, yes, every word is true except for those that aren't, I have to give people some privacy, myself included, actually. I mean, it does. I mean, I think on what, I think it kind of reads like a diary, and I've never kept a diary in my entire life. Um, it's probably a good thing. Um, but thank you. I'm glad you found it sexy. It was, that relationship was very, hot.
I guess I'm curious, like I'm curious about the decision because the whole as the things are unfolding, it's really like a will they or won't they? Like it's a lot of right, obviously the whole thing is like that build up and us being in your shoes as you're experiencing that. But then you didn't really give us the payoff in the end. Like you allude to like an encounter, but then you're sort of like, well, I'm not going to say anything about that. And then from there, I felt like the book became much more kind of abstracted and a lot more about just sort of like your experience and how you were integrating all this and how it was kind of relating to the like spiritual work that you were studying. So I guess I'm curious about that decision. Like, why not give us more payoff?
Because um because honestly, I think at that point I just thought I don't think that feels too real. That feels actually too real for me to do. I mean, maybe if I was writing it, as you said, chapter 2, like, the ex, yes, it's very sexy because it's the past,
Right.
and I can look back and say, okay, that was, that happened, and it's true. And it's almost like I'm sharing a little bit of myself with, with friends, or like now, hopefully lots of people will read this. But this is very much like, oh, it's present time. So that's why there was, I wanted to give it more of a, because also I also felt like it just the way it happened, the fact that it was unforced, there was nothing there where, oh my God, I got nothing to do, I want to text him, like I've got, and there were where I describe in the book where I decide like nothing's gonna happen, Hashem's not putting us together, it's okay, it is what it is. And then every time something would happen and he would like land back, and that's what I thought was interesting to me, which is why, in the end, I thought of it, what it's really telling me, what it taught me, because it really taught me something that, that I left myself completely open to like whatever would happen, to the possibility. It happens, fantastic. It doesn't happen, fantastic. That's how it's meant to be. That's Hashkafa practice. That is how you're supposed to look at it. I can't force this. I can't, and I don't want to force it. In fact, what I love about Hasidus, which is why I feel like truly, to me, that book, this book is much more. I am telling a story. I am telling this, little love story. I am telling this what I feel like it's almost like a little fable, like a modern fable. Trust life, trust what happens. I mean, you couldn't have planned it like this. You couldn't have predicted it like this. I couldn't have imagined it like this. But at the end, what it really taught me is to trust Hashem, to trust, just trust. But, really, if anything, it strengthened my bitachon immensely. I think I actually became a much, no, I don't want to say happier. I feel a lot more ease. I feel a lot more ease with life, at ease with life as a result. Because, honestly, I don't know if I can, say it in stronger words, to what extent my life had completely imploded, completely, and it could have been a case of, I'm just going to, I don't know.
Yeah, I have nothing to live for. This is it.
Yeah. Everything's gone. Everything's just gone. And really it's not.
I mean, can I ask you more questions about the detective? Here's the thing, for our listeners who haven't read it yet, it's
please.
The character, true crime and detective stories in general, separate from true crime, just the character of a detective, has been a character in books and movies and TV shows, tale as old as time, for a reason.
Tell me about it.
It's so the fact that this fell into your lap, it's this very New York City, Brooklyn, Bronx detective, works around the clocks, working out, going to the gym, driving the undercover car all over all 5 boroughs, doing their detective work, going to court, thinking of you, a text, but too busy to really do anything because of the nature of his work. And this very mysterious, hot, New Yorky detective is very clear in my mind based on everything you wrote and based on everything I know of New Yorkers,
Well,
and, yeah.
Yeah, no,
There's
sorry,
no question there. I'm just curious. I'm just saying it and curious your thoughts on this.
Yeah, well, I have a lot of thoughts because, first of all, since I was very young, detective stories have been my favorite. That's been my go-to genre, my favorite genre of books, literature. And I want to say, the best detective stories I feel, for my money, are the best literature because a good detective story has everything. It's not just talking about crime. It talks, it can be humorous, it can be deep, it can be literary, it can be fast-paced, it can be, profound. It's everything. And, and I think the detective genre carries the story along because there's always something, there's the story, there's the thriller, there's the mystery. So there's always something to, to seek within a detective story. And so I have my own thing for, about detectives in general, just the detective as a genre. So trust me, can you believe that it's a detective? I mean, this is what I'm saying. I couldn't have made it up if I tried. And yes, he happens to be all of those things. He happens to be tall, dark, and very handsome. And yes, he is, a senior detective, and he is, funny and,
and flirty and super into you.
Something like that. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, did you not think that, honestly, for my, I really love the court.
Yeah.
Seriously, I have to be honest, that the court and the drive in the car, I really did feel, I felt that arm.
The arm. Look, I could literally feel the arm.
Totally.
Yeah, I felt it. I felt it for a week afterward.
Yeah.
I would just it was incredible.
100%.
It
I
was,
completely related to that arm.
yeah, it
Their
was
arms,
incredible.
for our listeners, were touching,
It was just the arms touching.
just the arms touching in court
Yeah.
because of how close they were sitting next to each other.
And then in the drive home, and then like the way we walked to the car. Honestly, I just um yeah, it really made an impact. It really stayed with me.
You're reminding me of an experience I had that I have not thought of until right now for many, many years, which is that I commuted in my first year in the city from Manhattan to the Bronx to do a social work field placement 5 days a week in Christopher Columbus High School in the Bronx. I was in social work school, maybe it was a couple days a week. I was in social work school at NYU and I was in this field placement in the Bronx. I think I was there every day and then in class in the evenings. And every single morning, I got on the 405 at 42nd Street to go to the Bronx, and I sat next to an electrical engineer who was doing work in a project, like a housing unit in the Bronx, and we commuted together for 10 months, from September to June. The same time, the same car, we sat together every day. And at a certain point, when we realized, obviously we became friends, and then we talked on the commute every day for 9 months. Like it took us a little while to realize what was happening, that we were commuting every day, that it was like this very specific, only in New York experience that like all of us can relate to because we've all had experiences like this. But I remember something with like the proximity of our legs on the subway car, like, because I was wondering, like, why is this arm thing sticking out to me so much? And it's like, you're really reminding me of a very specific New York year in my life.
Good.
At a
Felt like
certain
the-
point, we,
Go
we,
on.
we did exchange numbers, but it sort of had to only exist on the subway, you know?
Sure.
You know, um, I want to say that the volume 2 is writing itself.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Great.
Yes. It's not over yet. This was just part 1, and I feel like where it ended at Pesach, I
Okay.
just again, it's writing itself. It's almost like I have nothing to do with it. It's just like these circumstances that have landed on me, and they are. I can only say it's hashkafa practice. It's like there's just nothing that I somehow I did this, and now these are the consequences. It's like you wake up one day and there's a phone call, and it's like what? And so, yeah, so part 2
Part 2.
coming.
I definitely felt like we talk a lot about, Rachel and I talk a lot about like setting, and we love when a setting is vivid. And I felt like specifically here, I just felt like, I know the whole book doesn't take place in the summer, but I felt the whole, like, there's a New
heat.
York summer vibe
Yes.
that is like
Yes.
very specific and vivid to me. It's like, it's
I
not just
agree.
New York, it's New York and the summer. It's like, the slightly less people, and how it's like almost a little eerie because it's a little emptier than usual, and the heat and the sweat
heat.
on everything. Like I felt like the whole book took place in that to
Fireflies
me.
and the Catskills. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
It was
And
very,
yeah,
yeah.
I went up to Catskills, often, and I really. It was, it was all impactful, and I really tried to convey it in the way that it felt, like really viscerally, because a lot of this was really just visceral. It was just a lot of experiences, because as you can tell, like, there's not a lot of experiences, but everything that happens is it's charged. And
Yes.
yeah, in fact, like, I thought, oh, maybe I could, like I started the Instagram account because I wanted to illustrate it with little kind of vignettes. And I almost wanted to like just use the actual photos because, it was sent each other a lot of photos, and I photograph everything constantly. So I'm always, like sending selfies and taking pictures. And I thought, oh, I could do like a pictorial where it'll be me, sitting on the deck in the Catskills, and me on the beach in Rockaway, and me on the ferry. And I thought, no, that's like it. That's
Fun
too
reading, though.
well. I want to make a movie.
Yeah, that would be really fun too. Yeah, there's just something about it that is definitely cinematic. And yeah, I mean, it probably isn't only a New York thing, but there's something about it that feels it. And I think that's probably the way you write New York. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is, like what Malya's saying. The way that New York's woven in feels, you can feel it. And we definitely appreciate that. When certain books feel like Anytown, USA, it's just like, you can't experience it in the same. This isn't Anytown, USA. This is like a Brooklyn, Bronx, Catskills, New York story.
Well, I mean, I've since I've moved to New York in 2001. Um, I've only ever lived in Park Slope, except for like a hot minute detour to Jersey, Red Bank. I have only ever lived in Park Slope, and like literally always within like a 5 block, 10 block radius of only 3 addresses in the entire 20 something years time. And so to me, I know this is the only area that I know. Right. I mean, you put me somewhere else and I'm completely discombobulated. Like, I don't know Flatbush, I don't know.
Right.
Take me to Borum Hill and Somerhood. But Park Slope, Gowanus, this area, it's very much where I've spent. Like, I had my first studio in Gowanus. This is like part of, me. I've actually lived in New York now longer than I've lived anywhere else in the world. And I've lived in many countries.
Yeah.
So
it's really cool.
And I also just really loved and I understand you're saying it all just sort of unfolded, but the way you use the Hasidic like concepts, because I feel like most people would feel like a lot of what you're talking about is really antithetical to Hasidic concepts and teachings. And it's like this, it's kind of pairing two really opposing things, but it's almost like I remember you told me that beginning, there's that chapter in the beginning where you really kind of almost, you retell like a Hasidic story that's one of the stories in the Tanya, and it almost kind of feels like the whole thing is that story, that it's like you've created other versions of a longer elongated version of that story. And that it's almost like this, it's this very unlikely way to actually educate others as you're sort of the main character, you, is being educated about what these ideas really mean in the real world. So it's in this very unlikely way.
Totally. Couldn't agree more.
I know, I mean, that's the dichotomy that I'm living with in that book, because on one hand, which is why when I got up in shul to actually say I write a book, I was very, very conflicted. I was very conflicted because, when I started writing it, I really just thought it would be like some kind of like erotic story, and I was going to be anonymous about it. And then when I finished it, I just thought, no, I think this is really beautiful. I love this too much. I'm so proud of it. Yeah, I am proud of it. I am really proud of it. I think it's a really beautiful thing. It's something that I created without ever having thought that I would do or planning it. It just like that. And because it happened to me, because I didn't actually what should I write about? No, it happened. It just happened. And Baruch Hashem, you know what? Baruch Hashem, if this is what comes out of this, horrible, robbery, this horrible event that just completely upended everything. And I come out with this beautiful story. In the end, I really hope people read it and understand a little bit about Hasidus and really understand that there is another way of looking at life. Mm-hmm. I remember, he and I, we were texting once. I was upstate, and I'm not sure if it's in the book, actually, because not everything made it into the book. But I think he asked me what I was doing, and I was like, I was studying my Morim. I'm studying a Maimar. And I went to tell him what it was, and he was like, mm-hmm. And I said, I'm experiencing life in reality. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, well, I'm experiencing life and reality on the corner, in a Bronx corner. And I thought, yeah, that's life. Try to experience it, try to live it fully, try just to be there for it. Don't project, just be here. It's
Have other people in shul like followed up with you about it or read it or wanted to like have you gotten a response? I'm just curious.
uh, no, because well, first of all, the paperback only just came out, I think, like this past week. And again, because the content is not exactly snewed, I
Yes.
don't necessarily feel comfortable by, bring it up again. Like the
Sure.
reason I did it was because I wanted to say this isn't just, this, romantic, sexy read. It is actually about how much I love Hasidus. It
Right.
really, that. So I wanted to, I don't want to, I don't want to belabor it. I don't want to talk about it more than I have to. But at the same time, I do hope people who love Hasidus will read it. I would love to, I would love it if some frum people read it and tell me what they think about it.
Right.
And, see beyond the superficial story and see the deeper story.
Right. I'm sure they would if they read it, because it's, it really, in the way that you weave in the stories with what's actually happening in reality, is profound in a way. So I'm sure if they read it, they would. And, if they were comfortable, because, people listen to this podcast that you wouldn't expect and read all sorts of stuff. And I wouldn't
yeah.
say anything that's happening in there is so spicy that I feel like,
Exactly, which is why, and again, this is you asking me why, there's a letdown that I didn't go into too many details. You know what? That was for a reason. I
right,
think that I feel like, I'm already an anomaly. I'm already, I don't really fit into like a frum society, but I'm also like, not exactly secular because I am like way too Hasidic in my mindset. So I'm just this story is such a reflection of who I am. It literally, and the fact that it's such a window into my mind. I mean, it's it's one thing getting naked with a stranger. I think like exposing your thoughts to a wide audience, I
oh,
think it's a lot more
for
telling than
sure.
Yeah, very vulnerable. Yeah.
Very vulnerable. It's why everyone's book is on the inside. That's for sure
Yes.
true.
yeah.
It's like, that's amazing. Speaking of neo-Hasidic Jews and Brooklyn, is Dovber Pinson still on the scene? Do you learn from him, Nora?
Who?
Rabbi Pinson, is he still
Ah,
there?
Rabbi Pinson. Well, he's not in Brooklyn.
He's
My
not.
understanding is that he's upstate
I
somewhere.
see. Because when I was in Brooklyn, he was, and I just feel you would have liked him so much.
Oh, I used to study. I used to like listen to his shirim all the time. Actually, yeah, he was great. He's great.
Yeah.
He's great. I'm really fond of a couple of different rabbis now, and I'm like almost exclusively solely listening to them and studying with
Yeah.
them, and which is like there's not enough hours for all the Hasidus I want to study.
It's
Guys, the
Oh,
amazing.
by the way,
crazy thing is that Rabbi Pinson's followers made a Pinson AI, just to come full
oh
circle
yes, that's
here,
right.
where it's like it's his voice. This is the craziest part. It speaks in his voice, and it's like, what Hasidic concepts can I explain to you today? And you can like ask it. I mean, you could ask it anything, but it wants to talk to you about like Kabbalistic or Hasidic concepts
Yeah.
in his
Well,
voice.
Is this new?
It's like a few months old.
So he's upstate now?
He's in like Pomona, which is like Muncie. I think that's what
Yeah.
like people are calling. It's rebranded Muncie.
And he has a following there?
I think so. But I think occasionally he still does stuff here, but like he lives there and his thing is up there.
Very
But you
cool
can
thing.
but his AI, you can bring him anywhere.
Can you share what rabbis you're into?
yes, well, I'm a huge, probably like number one fan of Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson. his Hasidic his classes on Hasidus, his men's classes on Hasidus are my I die, I die, I die, I die. I just
And it's in podcast form?
no, they're live. They're live on YouTube. I mean, from his website, and they're on YouTube, and they're usually on Monday morning and Thursday morning. And if it's a big mimer, he'll do like another extra class. Sometimes Wednesday, sometimes Friday, sometimes Sunday. And then he does women's classes on Tuesday. So there was a class this morning. There was a class yesterday. There's going to be a class Thursday. He is phenomenal. He is phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. The way he unpacks Hasidus is insane. I, like I cannot thank him enough for opening my mind to Hasidus. But what I was going to say is that what I find AI most helpful with is studying Hasidus, studying the mimers. Because what I do now is that I will listen to, a lesson, and then I will either record it myself, which because the transcript don't come out for like another day. So I'll record it in real time and then feed it to my AI, to my Claude. I have several Claudes, and then we unpack it, and then we study it together. And then, because I ask him, okay, so now like I want to hear it through tell me, like, synthesize this mimer to me through with Basiligani, or like, now I want to know, like, what does the Alter Rebbe said about this, and what does the Tzemach Tzedek said about this. And so it is first of all, I can study now so much more rather than just waiting for those classes. I can study at will whenever I want to, which is 24/7. I'm not even joking. Like if there was a Hasidus Anonymous, I would be, I would be the founding member. One of the study
well,
with
he's
actually.
telling me that there's the Pinson AI was so popular, but they had to take it down because it crashed when they first put it up, and now it has a paid tier. YY needs to get on that too. He's got to get they're all doing it.
This is crazy. You guys are opening my eyes to things I had no idea about.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I think the Hasidic circles, I mean, I actually Rabbi YY had, brings up AI, and he was, it was one of the reasons I actually thought about it more seriously, because there's a lot of really interesting people in class. I mean, I don't know them because you don't even see them. You just see, Rabbi YY teaching, but he addresses people in class, and there's like this guy, I think is Russian, and I think is a physicist, and he'll always come up with something like no one can really understand. But what I'm saying is AI is really a helpful tool. If you understand how to use it, if you really, it can only give back to you what you give it. And it's for
Mine's
study.
just like, you're anxious.
Yeah, you have to calm it down. But I guess it's a built-in barrier, like it's to protect you. They want to make
sure realize that this world was out there.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's really interesting talking to you about this.
Yes, thank you so much for being here, Nora.
Thank you for having me.
It was great chatting.
And we recommend everyone check out The Story of E by Nora Kogan. It's available now on Amazon.
Yeah, check it out. I can't wait for volume 2. I didn't realize it's still going. I want to ask you more, but I know you're going to save it for the book. So
yeah, we're into it.
Well, it's writing itself, so I don't want to preempt anything.
No.
It happens.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome to you're welcome to hang out. Listen to us wrap up here. So that was awesome. Great to listen.
I will.
Okay, awesome.
Great.
Thank you. That was great.
That was really great.
Yeah, this was cool.
That was great talking to her. I'm so glad we wanted to have her on.
Yeah, really unique. I don't know, cool addition to our world.
For sure. Okay, you know the next book.
Yes, the next book.
This is 2 episodes in a row, Mal, that you're introducing the book.
I know. I'm finally hitting my stride for 4 years in here.
Um,
Okay, what are we reading next?
Well, we are reading The End of Romance by Lily Meyer, Meyer. This was a recommendation from my mom, who is a big listener here. And sends me romance stuff, like articles and things, but has never. And she was like, I strongly recommend this book for your podcast. And it sounds great. Here, can I read you the description?
Please.
It just came out in February. And the description is Sylvie Broder was taught early to embrace joy. The granddaughter of Holocaust survivors whose greatest priority was enjoying the life they'd snatched back from Hitler, Sylvie believes in the tenacious pursuit of pleasure, yet somehow finds herself trapped in a suffocating, emotionally abusive marriage. With enormous fortitude, Sylvie frees herself and turns to graduate school where she develops a new philosophy. Straight women will find true liberation and romance and happiness only once romance is eradicated. Now, Sylvie prides herself in separating sex from tenderness, having fun with men but never committing to one. Then she meets Robbie and Abie and finds her philosophy sorely tested. A warm and gentle man, Robbie treats Sylvie with patience and enormous kindness, offering her comfort she hasn't had since childhood. Abie is passionate and dynamic, a man who challenges Sylvie, and with whom she finds herself constantly disarmed. With both men, she feels a deep desire that looks worryingly a lot like love. Cleverly constructed, delightfully funny, and beautifully written, The End of Romance is an anti-romance romance novel that charts its fallible heroine's tumultuous journey to love and happiness with erudition and deep feeling. A story for anyone who, despite their very best efforts, has fallen in love and wondered why.
Oh my God, I can't wait to read it.
Sounds great.
Sounds so good.
I think Lily Meyer is a writer for The Atlantic, and this is her first novel.
I can't wait to read this. Are you going to read it? Are you going to do audio? What are you going to do? I don't know.
I don't know.
As you're reading the whole description, I've put it on hold in 8 different places.
Oh, really? Oh my God, I should have done that. Well, I have like 10 Audible credits, like they've really built up. So I almost feel like I can't buy books while I have these Audible credits. So I might listen.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to listen.
Okay, I put a physical copy on hold at my library in the past 1 second. I see it's already on my TBR on Libby. I didn't realize that. It's not available on Hoopla, but I'm going to just check it out. Maybe I'll do audio. Maybe I'll do both. I can't wait to read it.
I think it's going to be really good. Sounds good.
Okay, great. Well, this was awesome. And this podcast is brought to you by Hanukkah Pong. Looking for a menorah-shaped beer pong? Look no further. Newesttraditions.com. Promo code Hanukkah Erotica, HANUKKAHEROTICA. This podcast is produced by William Levin. Follow us on Instagram at Hanukkah Erotica Book Club. Follow us, like us, leave us reviews, 5 stars. Let us know if you're in Egypt.
Please. Or Malawi.
Good night.
Bye.